Good evening and welcome everybody. Thursday Night Live T2 Challenge, the Encore presentation. Take two tonight from California Table Tennis. We've got T2 action between Nick Teo and Ted Lee. Of course, we are going to play under the T2 rules. We've got our 24-minute clock that will run, and any game started during that 24-minute clock under the T2 rules is a regular game. We'll play it to 11 points. Anything that starts after that point is going to be a fast five. And, of course, there is no deuce in T2 as we get ready for the action between Nick Teo, who is in the foreground, and Ted Lee, who starts things off with the serve here in Game 1 and an early lead to Nick Teo in Game 1. I'm Mark Thompson. I'm joined by Sean O'Neill, the high-performance director of USA Table Tennis. We're underway here, Sean.
Great match ahead with both players on the national team. Ted Lee very strong on the forehand side, and as we saw on the tail of the tape, Nick Teo both a forehand and backhand two-wing attacker.
And on to take this, his first serve of the match is Nick Teo, and that is off the top of the net. So we'll do that one again. And a nice spin on his first serve of the game, and it's off the edge of the paddle of Ted Lee and out. Early 2-1 lead for Nick Teo, just 20 years of age, out of Irvine, California, a 26-26 USA TT rating for him.
And that is one monster forehand loop there by Nick Teo. You can actually see it all start all the way from the ground through his body as he ripped that ball cross court.
And Nick Teo out to an early 4-1 lead here at the California Table Tennis Center in Rosemead, California. I want to thank Gao Jun and everybody there at California Table Tennis for helping us on the technical end are Kevin Yu and also Sam Way. As we get the first towel break of this match. Of course, it's a best of 7. And we have had matches that have gone all 7 games, Sean. However, during the first season of T2, we had some lopsided matches as well. You know, it goes tonight.
And again, Nick Teo with some amazing power with that step around. Really solid forehand loops. Of course, we are using COVID-19 rules. Players will stay on the same side of the table, and they are using the multi-ball approach.
Oh, the nice short serve by Nick Teo, but his backhand goes long and drawing within 2. Young Ted Lee, just 15 years of age, out of San Diego, California, plays out of the Learning Tree Table Tennis Center, where, of course, one of his coaches is the former world champion Stellan Bankston. As Teo out to a 6-3 lead here in Game 1. We'll keep an eye on the 24-minute clock, as noted at the top. Any game started within the 24-minute clock is a regular game, goes to 11 points. No juice. That's 5.
Both players really trying to feel out each other. They've missed a couple of finishing shots, but so far Nick has really shown that he's got the power and the speed.
Oh my God!
That ball just goes long, and you can hear Nick kind of commenting on himself to make those backhands land.
It's one of the things you keep an eye on with Nick is sometimes he does have a little bit of negative self-talk, but it's because he wants it so bad. That goes long, and drawing within 2 again at another towel break is young Ted Lee. Ted, of course, plays as a Butterfly North America sponsored player. He uses the Zhangji K Super ZLC FL blade, and on both sides he used the Butterfly Dignix 09C 2.1 rubber. So he's a sponsored Butterfly North American player, Ted Lee.
And again, Ted's doing an excellent job of really keeping those serves short, especially on the forehand side. Nick needs to get in a little bit quicker and then get that big, powerful forehand going. Oh, that's beautiful. Really
Right?
strong backhand opening play there by Nick Teo.
Really nice. Nick plays with a DHS blade, the Ma Long blade. He uses the Hurricane 3 Neo on both sides, rubber-wise, on that blade. He now leads 9-6 here in game one of this encore presentation of Thursday Night Live T2 Challenge.
And Nick, once again, really trying to get his forehand into play. Stepped way around that ball on the backhand side, but Ted has done an excellent job of controlling the table and really making it tough for Nick to be sure-footed on any of his attacks.
As that backhand goes long again and drawing within one is Ted Lee, still with the serve here in game one. It's noted no deuce under T2 rules, which changes the dynamic rather considerably when you get to this point. Now with the first game point of the match is Nick Teo. We'll take a towel break here as Nick Teo, of course, is a four-time Team USA national team member since 2017. And he ends up taking game one of this encore presentation of Thursday Night Live T2 Challenge. Nick Teo, the 20-year-old out of Irvine, California, with an 11-8 victory in game one. And both players, though, Sean, really showed several solid shots at either side of the court. Nick Teo does win game one 11-8.
Yeah, definitely Nick got out strong and really showed the ability to play that very strong forehand topspin. I mean, he, as you mentioned, he's using Chinese equipment, so the ball has tremendous amount of spin. Whereas with Ted, he's using butterfly, a little speedier, still a lot of spin, but look for Ted to really try to get his backhand into play. That's what he's best known for, especially over the table on his backhand side.
Of course, we talk about Nick Teo, and you can see it, obviously. What a tremendous athlete he is. He's one of those players that you just immediately, when you see him, you say, this guy's a pro. He's got the type of tree trunk legs that you see in many athletes in many sports, and he's very quick as well, Sean. He's able, his footwork is exceptional. We saw him a couple of times in game one kind of step around for the forehand, which he's got a tremendously powerful forehand. But a lot starts with the base with Nick Teo.
Yeah, his legs really give him the option to pick and choose his shots extremely well. He also puts so much spin on the ball when he's looping that he can take it at the different heights. So for any of you players at home, if you want to be able to improve your timing, work on your footwork, build your leg strength up, and watch Nick Teo play.
And he'll start with the serve here in game two, leading 1-0. A little bit upset at himself there. Drives one into the net, and the first lead of the match for Ted Lee.
And even though Ted missed that backhand, that's a good idea. Try to start the rally, almost take the offensive opening away from Nick if possible.
Off the net and long. So Ted Lee again leading by one here, 2-1 early in game two of this best of seven. That's a missed shot there by Nick Teo, Sean. Not something you see him on that forehand do very often. Obviously upset with himself, trailing 3-1 with the serve.
Both players doing a really nice job of keeping the ball short on the opponent's serve. That time again, Nick went to the trademark step around forehand. He's moving the ball nicely both to the middle of the table and wide to Ted's backhand.
That's a nice backhand by Nick. Draws within one with the serve here in game two, leading 1-0. And that ties things up at 3. Now the towel break, and of course Nick Teo, Sean, has played in the World Championships 3 times already, 2017, 18, and 19. He's going to get another chance in 2021 in Busan, South Korea, as a member of the team representing the United States of America.
And I know his Pan Am gold medal in the team for Team USA, definitely a highlight of his illustrious career so far as well.
Back into the lead goes young Ted Lee, just 15 years of age. He's had great success at USATT events, whether the Nationals or the Open in the age group event.
Oh, and that was a great attack from Ted off the bounce. Once they got into a backhand-to-backhand exchange, Ted just jumped over to the middle of the table and just took it right off the bounce.
The frustration there from Nick Teo is that Luke went wide to his left, now trails by 3, the highest lead of the match so far for Ted Lee.
I mean, that's just pure power right there. I mean, Nick took his time, let the ball sit a little bit, and then just drove it cross court for the winner.
Now back to even at 6s here in game 2. Keep an eye on that 24-minute clock, which of course dictates what type of game you're playing. A regular game, if it started within the 24 minutes, that goes to 11 points. But after that, we go into the Fast 5, which we have experienced quite a bit in the 10 weeks of Thursday Night Live that we've had, the 9 weeks of the actual tournament that we ran.
Oh, look
one
at
Encore
that.
presentation.
Off the bounce by Ted Lee. Just tremendous counterattack by the young player from San Diego.
Big point there. Beautiful backhand. Well, that was a tough serve for Ted Lee to handle, but he handled it well. And on the attempted return, Nick Teo misses. So an 8-6 lead here for Ted Lee.
Ted doing a very nice job of keeping that ball short and not allowing it to come off the end of the table to give Nick a chance to make his first attack.
9-7 Ted Lee here. Game 2, 1-0 lead in games for Nick Teo with the serve. Nice step up as he was able to bash that backhand down the left side of the table for him. Draw within 1. Now Nick Teo is evening things up at 9s here in game 2. Serve will shift back to Ted Lee, as noted, out of San Diego. His USATT rating 25-20 currently, has been as high as 25-48. And he has played in 47 USATT sanctioned events in his young career.
Excellent short game by Nick Teo there, just really taking the pace off the ball, not giving Ted anything to work with or to attack.
First lead of this game for Nick Teo. Big serve here, obviously, for Ted Lee.
Excellent opening there by Ted. Just took that backhand off the bounce, didn't put too much spin on it. When Nick came in to play the block, the ball just died into the net.
All right, somebody's about to win here. No deuce, 10-10, game 2. And a big pivotal game as well. And it's off the net and out, and it is Ted Lee with a bounce back here in game two. 11-10 victory has tied things up here at the California Table Tennis Center in Rosemead, California at 1 game apiece and 11. And Sean, that's the type of kind of standing in there. Ted had the lead for the vast majority of that game. Nick Teo fought back, took the lead at 10-9, and the last 2 points do go to Ted Lee, who was able to take that game. That could have easily shifted in the other direction, and this entire match would have weighted heavily on young Ted at that point.
I mean, the beauty of the T2 format, in which both in the Fast Five, when anything can happen, but a 10-10 game, you can work to come all the way back, and boom, it's just 1 point. I'm wondering, maybe we'll get a chance after the season is over to get a lot more feedback from the players on mentally how did they approach those sudden death 1 point end of game situations. But clearly, Ted Lee has brought it back to even.
As we head into game three, and it's tied at 1 game apiece. Of course, under the COVID-19 regulations, the players will remain on one side of the table. In the foreground, it is Nick Teo, 20-year-old out of Irvine, California. And the other far end, it is
Very nice banana flip there by Nick on the backhand side, adding a little bit of side spin to the backhand over the table.
I miss all these points.
Very nice counterattack there by Ted on the backcourt. Nick delivered a very strong forehand, but just a little bit too high. Ted able to come back. Oh, another great counterattack there by Ted Lee. Nick's open ball, very heavy, but Ted able to come in on the forehand side and re-loop that ball with great precision. Again, very strong play by Nick, really moving his feet well. Again, stepping around the backhand side, landing his forehand, jumping out to a 6-2 lead here in game three. Beautiful serve there, surprise serve by Ted, serving it down the line out to the forehand side, really catching Nick flat-footed, giving him the opportunity to get back to within two, trailing now 6-4.
I see the clock running. We.
Upstream.
Hold on. What happened?
Looks like the internet is off.
So once again, Nick with the serve,
It's when I
a
see
lot
the
of
clock
control,
running.
definitely working hard to get his forehand into play. There's a great forehand, but then that backhand goes long, and you can hear it in his voice. The
Step.
unfortunate mistake there,
Yeah.
but now still with a 2-point lead here in game three. Ted
The table screen
will
is
have the
frozen. The
serve
clock is running. I do not know why.
at 5,
Everything's running.
serving 7 here in game three.
Okay.
And Nick continues to get his first loop into play, really moving the ball around nicely.
And switch back.
And Ted is going to need to do something with this final serve. And again, Nick very powerful from the backhand side of the table to extend the lead 9-5 here in game three.
Trying. Yeah, okay. Looks like we can see
Again, very strong play by Nick. Two
maybe
forehands, a lot of
the-
pressure.
on the iPad with this switch to
Just
final
definitely
it's not
10-5. And now taking game three, 11-5.
There you go. Okay.
So a nice bounce back performance that time by Nick Teo as he was able to take control in game three and now leads 2-1. And if you look at the clock in your lower left-hand portion of the screen, Sean, you can see the time's ticking down on the 24-minute clock. We will get another regular game started, another game that'll go all the way to 11 points, but I don't think we're going to get much beyond that. I think we're going to probably see some fast five action between these two. Nick Teo leading 2-1 after the first 3 games. He won the first game 11-8. It was Ted Lee who came back and bounced back in game 2 with an 11-10 victory. 11-5 there in game 3. Nick Teo looked like he regrouped and came out strong and took it to Ted. Ted's going to have to do the same now in his corner.
Yeah, Nick did an excellent job of just controlling that initial forehand attack and then just to stay with it, just to keep the pressure on. Ted definitely needs to get into the rallies. Right now, he's playing a little bit of just keep it on the table. And he's not able to pressure Nick with his offense. So look for Nick to keep trying to attack and for Ted to kind of turn things around and get his offense going as well. Look for him on the backhand side to try to do a little bit more opening.
The whole this is funny. The whole app is functioning. It's only that screen is not functioning.
Mark Thompson here with Sean O'Neill, the High Performance Director of USATT. This is our final encore presentation of Season 1, Thursday Night Live T2 Challenge. We got Season 2 in the offing out there. It's going to be an interesting season. So we get an opportunity to see 2 of the young stars for USA Table Tennis, Nick Teo and Ted Lee, tonight in our final presentation of Season 1. And in Game 4, we got a 1-1 tie after the first 2 points. The serve shifting back to Ted Lee, just 15 years of age. We did play in the Olympic trials in Santa Monica in February. And had an okay run. He went 2-7 there. On the flip side, Nick Teo had a real good run. He went 6-3 in Santa Monica in the Olympic trials, losing only to Nikhil Kumar, Joe Shin, and Tom Feng.
And it definitely looks like, Mark, that we will be seeing the next game in the Fast Five format, which should benefit Ted Lee as he's trailing right now. That should go off the screen in about 40 seconds as Nick's last backhand did as well.
The app is functioning. It's just that screen. It's not functioning.
And Ted Lee with a 3-2 lead here in Game 4, trying to bounce back after an 11-5 victory for Nick Teo in Game 3. And now Ted has opened up a 2-point lead at 4-2 at the first towel break of Game 4. It is a best of 7. As Sean noted, we're going to be headed to Fast 5 for anything beyond Game 4 because we're about to tick out on the 24-minute clock under the T2 rules.
And again, Mark, Ted does a very nice job. Soft hands, keeps the ball short and low, really doesn't give Nick much to work with.
Life is good. It's okay, we have to do
It's off the net and long, so a 6-2 victory, or excuse me, not victory yet, a 6-2 lead for Ted Lee here in Game 4. He's got a ways to go if he wants the victory, but he's doing a good job of kind of keeping Ted Lee off of really the game, as Sean just noted, that I think he wants to play. And Ted has kind of slipped a bit here in Game 4 and finds himself down by 5 now. It's 7-2, Ted Lee.
Oh, there's a unlucky net dribbler there against Nick. Ted doing a nice job of really opening up off of Nick's serve on the backhand side.
Now a 9-2 lead, really shifting the momentum here. Ted Lee here in Game 4. Now with multiple game points, 8 of them actually, for Ted Lee. Nick Teo staves off the first one, draws within 7 here, 3-10 with the serve. In the forecourt, Nick Teo. Oh, and off the edge, and a winner there by Ted Lee. Nothing that Nick Teo could do on that one, Sean. It's the outside edge. We are headed to Fast 5 action. 11-3 victory there in Game 4 for young Ted Lee, who is now even the matchup at 2 games apiece. Kind of a seesaw battle, 2 tight games to start things off. An 11-8 victory for Nick Teo in Game 1, 11-10 victory for Ted Lee in Game 2. Then Nick really took it to Ted in Game 3, 11-5, and returning the favor. Ted Lee over Nick Teo, 11-3 in Game 4. Of course, when you go to the Fast 5, things do go fast, Sean. It is the first person to 5. There's no deuce again, so it's just first person to 5 points wins the game. And things do have a tendency to go quickly. I think that both you and I agree that taking an aggressive posture during the Fast 5 early on is very important.
And it's just so great that we saw it in week 1 with Kai Jung in his match with Tom Feng, and then finishing off this season with the Encore presentation to go into a Fast 5 in Game 5. These are going to come fast. We're going to see who can attack first, who can keep the pressure on, and who can keep their cool.
Of course, so we've noted it already, but this is the last event that we're going to televise as far as Thursday Night Live T2 Challenge for Season 1, but we've got Season 2 in the offing. It's all of the elite table tennis players in America should have an opportunity in one of the regional events to participate in Season 2. The setup will be similar to what we've done in Season 1 in certain respects and different in others. And it ultimately will result in a Thursday Night Live T2 Challenge winner. And there's going to be prize money involved. Very excited about it. It's all going to start up in the latter portion of November, and we should have the championship events happening sometime in the mid to latter portion of February of 2021. So it's something to really look forward to. And, of course, we want to thank everybody that's been a part of Season 1 of the Thursday Night Live. Big success for USATT. And these two gentlemen have a ways to go here. Fast 5 for Game 5.
Serves will alternate every single point.
Ted Lee takes the first point of the first Fast 5.
And again, very smart, Mark, for Ted to get that backhand in directly off the serve. It really takes Nick out of his game where he wants to attack off of underspin.
Oh, Nick Teo did a good job of fighting that one off in the body, and the return by Ted Lee goes long. So on the board here in the Fast 5 is Nick Teo with the serve.
Oh, that's an amazing backhand block there. You can hear Nick. Ted somehow dug that out of the shot right into his elbow and just brought it back with the same level of speed.
Yeah, that was a beautiful shot that time by Ted Lee.
Oh, a perfect service location. Nick tried to step over, use his backhand, but Ted had perfectly placed the ball just outside of his elbow to get game point. And Nick returns the favor. Exact same deal, serving right into the elbow.
He staves off the first game point in the first fast five here in game 5. It's 2-2 in games. Big pivotal moment of this match between Ted Lee and Nick Teo. And that goes long, and it is Ted Lee who takes game 5 by a score of 5-2. So it is a 3-2 lead. It's the first lead in the match games-wise for Ted Lee, who has bounced back, won 2 consecutive games here, including 5-2 in the first fast five. So we're going to get a second fast five here, and it is going to be Nick Teo who's going to have his back to the wall here in game 6, Sean.
And we really saw this same setup with the Kai Jung Tom Feng, where Tom really kind of controlled the match. And right at the end, Kai won the critical and key points to really take advantage of this fast five format. And right now, Ted's in the driver's seat, right?
And of course, as we've noted, under the COVID-19 regulations we're playing here at USATT, both players will stay on their same side that they've played on throughout the match. It is Nick Teo serve first from the forecourt to Ted Lee, the 15-year-old on the far end.
And that's
Good setup
exactly
that time.
what Nick wants to do. He wants to get that big forehand in early and often.
And a lot of power on that shot. He takes this first lead of the fast five for Nick Teo. Serve does shift over to Ted Lee, alternating serves on every point. It'll break off the net that time for Ted Lee to even things up at 1, leading 3-2. Serve comes back to Nick Teo. Back on top here in game 6, trying to stave off the elimination in this match is Nick Teo, and he does a good job with that. Now trailing 2-1.
Again, a great job by Nick moving that ball around, not just playing it cross-court into Ted's backhand, but moving it into the center of the table to really cause Ted to have to move his feet one extra step.
Another great forehand that time by Nick Teo, who takes a 4-1 lead here in game 6, trying to even things up. Serve shifts back to Ted Lee, facing 3 game points against. And it's the first one is the trick for Nick Teo. It's even things up with a 5-1 victory here in game 6. So just as we started season 1 of Thursday Night Live T2 Challenge with a match that went all 7 games, and in that one we went 3 fast fives between Kai Zhang and Tom Feng. We get the same thing here in the last match of season 1, Sean, as we are headed to game 7, a decisive fast 5 here at the California Table Tennis Center in Rosemead, California. Young Ted Lee and Nick Teo squared off for somebody's going to take this one out in game 7.
And there's only 5 points ahead of them that they need to win. And it's really just been a momentum seesaw battle between these two players, just really fighting for the attack, doing whatever they can to get their game on the upper hand. Just excellent play so far.
Great experience here for both of the players, but I think particularly for Ted Lee to play under this type of pressure against a player of the quality of Nick Teo and to have the opportunity to pull, what you might call a mini upset. And he's going to start with the serve here in game 7, another fast 5. First player to 5 is going to win the final match of Thursday Night Live T2 Challenge Season 1.
Oh, very strong sets of backhands there by young Ted Lee, just putting a lot of pressure on Nick's backhand side.
Good touch from both players there, but an early 1-0 lead for Ted. And into the net there goes Nick Teo, now finding himself trailing 3-1 here in Game 7. Ted Lee with the serve and a 2-point lead, trying to get to match point.
Again, just a very solid backhand. Nick could feel that one all the way into his body, but excellent play for Ted to reach match point.
And he's got 3 of them here against Nick Teo with the serve. And staves off elimination here in this match on the first one. 4-2, Game 7. All tied up at 3 apiece. Serve shifts back to Ted Lee out of San Diego, California, trying to notch a big score in his belt here against Nick Teo.
That's such a stroke of beauty there when Nick can unload with his forehand. Just excellent form, excellent technique. And it looks like Ted has taken a timeout.
I think it's a smart play there, Sean. He's had the essentially the 4-1 lead here and battling back with back-to-back points. Nick Teo draws within 1. And I'm not sure that he wanted to wait and see if things got to 4-4 before using that timeout. So not a bad decision by young Ted Lee and his coach.
Definitely very strategic. Why wait till it gets even up before calling the timeout? Get a little bit of a slight advantage there. Think about really what serve and what serve return that you're going to play not only on this point, but if it goes to the ultimate 4-4 point as well.
Oh, and it is young Ted Lee with a big, somewhat of an upset victory over Nick Teo. 5-3 in Game 7 on the Fast 5. Takes it 4 games to 3 as Ted Lee 11-8, lost first game 11-8, but then won the second one 11-10. Lost the third 11-5, came back with an 11-3 victory in our last regular game, then won 5-2 in the first Fast 5, lost 5-1, but came back in this seesaw battle to win 5-3 in Game 7. And for young Ted Lee, Sean, I think this is a big victory for him. Showed he could handle the moment against the player of the quality of Nick Teo.
And just really playing the big points huge. I mean, coming in, getting his attacks going, able to quiet down and kind of silence Nick Teo, who has both great forehand and backhand power.
What a great way to put a cap on Season 1 of Thursday Night Live, the T2 Challenge, our second encore presentation at the California Table Tennis Center in Rosemead, California. We want to thank everybody associated with Season 1. There are a number of people to thank. 2 that I really do think that we deserve note are the team captains from Team Butterfly and Team Nataku in our tournament matches that we had. That would be Captain David Sakai of Team Butterfly that did win that tournament 6 matches to 3. But we also want to thank Captain Patty Martinez Wasserman that did, for all she did with Team Nataku. And of course, thanking the people at Butterfly and Nataku for sponsoring USATT, Sean, and being a part of Thursday Night Live, the T2 Challenge Season 1.
Just great thanks all the way around from the various clubs, starting in Westchester, going to Houston, then up to ICC, and now to California Table Tennis. Just a real thrill to work with the players and coaches and managers that make it happen for USA Table Tennis.
Yeah, and I'm real excited about Season 2 as well. It is fast on the horizon. If you are an elite table tennis player in America, it's an open event, or you can get to America or get to what will be a number of regional events throughout the United States of America. We're going to try to expand the regional base just enough so that we can get everybody involved who deserves to play and wants to play. Ultimately, there will be a team element, but it'll shift to essentially a winner-take-all event as well as we go through season 2. Keep your eyes and ears open. We anticipate that it will start some point in latter November, probably have the conclusion somewhere in February of 2021. Sean, I am very excited about the prospect of season 2 of Thursday Night Live, the T2 Challenge. I think we're going to bring out the best in American table tennis.
And it's really such a great treat for members of our national team to get to play, get back into the game during this COVID season, making sure we're safe and healthy, not taking any risks, but really giving them a chance to play for some good prize money and to play against some high-level competition.
All right, putting a cap on season 1 of Thursday Night Live, the T2 Challenge, with an encore presentation victory by 15-year-old Ted Lee over Nick Teo, in 7 games. I want to thank again everybody involved, including you, the fans out there watching this. You're why we do what we do. Love what we do. We're looking forward to more coming down the line. I am Mark Thompson for Sean O'Neill. Thanks for watching Season 1, Thursday Night Live, T2 Challenge on the USATT Table Tennis Network.